Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my 100th video special. I had no idea that I had that many videos. I was on my YouTube analytics or whatever, and it said that I had 99 videos. So I'm going to go ahead and make this sort of a smorgasbord since sort of a special one. So I set up the layout behind me, my Chillicothe layout, with a 1960s era B&O train. I don't have a lot of 1960s equipment, but of course a lot of it was still running in my time of 1980. I had some box cars and a covered hopper that are parked at my car shops that were slated to be scrapped. So I pulled them out and put them on a train, and I've got a B&O GP35 and a B&O wagon top caboose. I cleared everything else off the layout as much as I could that gave it away to like around late 70s, 1980. If someone spots something, let me know. I won't be surprised. Some of the cars I'm not really sure, like I've got an old Volkswagen, which is definitely from the 60s, but there's a couple others that I'm not sure. Maybe they were actually in 1971, I don't know. So anyhow, this B&O engine runs great, but doesn't have sound. So I tried something different. I put a little soundtrack off iMovie on there. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. I'm going to narrate the switching too. Like I said, I don't have a lot of 1960s equipment, so it's not going to be that long. But a bonus for you is that because we had an unexpected snow last night, so as soon as it gets light, I'm going to go out and film a little bit of plowing on my garden railroad, and I'll stick a little clip of that on here for you guys. I know you're mostly interested in N scale, but you get to see me plow my garden railroad for a minute or two. And then I'll show you my Oak Hill staging yard. So I said you're going to see all three of my layouts very shortly today. So let's get started. Okay, we catch the train coming east out of the Chillicothe yard. Going to cross Douglas Avenue and stop, uncouple the engine from the train so we can run around. We only have one box car to exchange at Wearever. We uncoupled. Now we're going to pull ahead to the crossover, and then we'll back down the westbound main to run around the train. I do really miss sound in my switching layout. I totally get why maybe it's not as effective on a real model railroad where like you've got two towns that are supposed to be 10 miles apart, but in reality they're 10 feet apart, and you can still hear the engine when it's the other town and you shouldn't be able to. But on a switching layout, it's really effective. Had to stop to line the turnouts. Now we're crossing back to the eastbound main. I had to hide my roadways semi-trailer. I don't know when those became common. And now we're pulling forward. Couple onto the caboose so we can push the train into the Wearever siding. All we're going to do is pull the B&O boxcar that's at door 1 and exchange it for the B&O boxcar that I've got on the end of the train right now. Again, these are usually sitting in my car shop yard waiting to be scrapped. So now we're going to pull out, and then we'll spot the car we just pulled back on the main so we can push in the 40-foot boxcar. And now we're shoving back into the Wearever. I may have mentioned in a previous video this GP35 Benjamin Horn actually decaled it for 3557, and I took a picture of myself sitting in it when it was in the scrap line at Huntington, West Virginia. I'm assuming it got scrapped. I don't know, maybe it got saved. Maybe I have to do a little bit of research. But anyhow, it obviously was out of service in Huntington, West Virginia. I can think it was back in the early 90s. So I have a picture of me sitting in it, wearing a DT&I hat. So that'd be pretty cool to have that running on my railroad now. So now I'm taking the caboose. I'm going to go back up past the crossovers, spot it on the westbound main, and then I'm going to put the train, get it, and attach it to the caboose so I can head back east. I'll be using this caboose on my Oak Hill layout because every train there had a caboose on it. It wasn't within yard limits. You know, that branch line was 30 miles long or something, so they had to have a caboose. I'm going to have to set my layout back up for JMRI after this video. I had a Illinois Central Golf boxcar sitting at the team track, and that doesn't fit into the 1960s era. So I pulled that B&O hopper out and put it there. But I'll put it back in the car shop yard and put my ICG boxcar back before I run my next switching operations. So I've got the train heading back across Douglas Avenue. I'll pull up past the crossover, then I'll back onto the caboose. With only 4 or 5 cars, it's not that bad to back onto a caboose. But if you have a long train and you do this, the guys in the caboose are really going to be cussing you because of the slack in the train. It's going to really be a rough coupling probably. But a short train, you can do it. All right, we got the caboose. Just do a quick air test, and we're going to head back west, back to the yard. So when this is over, we're going to head outside. Okay, it's daylight now. It's only about 30 degrees. The snow probably ain't gonna last very long. It's a real wet snow, but luckily it's not very deep. So we'll see what we can do here. Up, we're spinning. Get on the trestle. You know, say bridges freeze before roads. Same way at the trestle. There's probably ice on the trestle. So that'd be good enough for now. Okay, I'm back inside where it's warm now. That was fun though. I went ahead and plowed the whole railroad while I was out there, but I don't feel I need to show you the whole thing. As you can see, I've got my staging yard in. I've got about 36 inches on each track. It's really sort of hard to get to. I hadn't anticipated this shelf. So I made my guardrail a little bit lower so I can get in there, get cars in and out if I have to. I can clean the track, right? It's not going to be that big a deal. But because it's so hard to take in and out, I negotiated with my wife to go ahead and leave it. So that's why I painted it up. Looks real nice. Everything that was on the shelf before is still on the shelf. So yeah, she may move some of the stuff around. I don't know. But anyhow, it is removable if I need to remove it. But I went ahead, instead of using the clamp, I put 2 screws in here. So it's pretty solid. I've got 2 uprights here, and it's not going to go anywhere. I'm still going to wire it in with the plugs, so in case I ever have to take it out, I don't have to cut the wires. So I'm waiting on to get those. It's not wired yet, or if it was, I'd show you how I could run a train on it. And I'd put the other one up, and I'd just run a train from staging yard to staging yard, show you how it's going to work. So questions, comments, always welcome. One thing I want to talk about is my other layout. I've had a guy ask me a couple times what the size of it is. The Chillicothe layout is 16 inches wide by 72 inches long, the original layout, and I built a 13-inch extension to take it to the wall, which is on the other side of that overpass. So it's now 85 inches long. So hopefully that answers your question. I did put answers, every time you ask it, I put answers in the comments. I answered your question, but I guess you haven't seen that yet. So anyhow, it's 16 by 85. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Tomorrow's my Oak Hill road trip, and so I'll put a video out, show you what I learned in that sometime next week. Stay safe.